Hello and welcome, guys. As promised, I'm back and I have Shah Pirali with me, who is the founder, president and managing attorney of Shah Pirali Law Group, PC, Newark, California. They are located, and is a member of American Immigration Lawyers Association as well as the State Bar of California. He is a passionate advocate about human rights, civil rights, social actions and social services, and he has a strong interest in and absolutely knowledge of the political legal system in the U.S. He formed his law group to work on the causes he feels most ardent about. The law group focuses on immigration law with an emphasis on employment-based immigration and helps the clients all over the U.S. So this is a call-in show. If you have any question, you can call in the studio. The number would be 510-770-1550. That's the studio line number. And if you would like to connect with Shah Pirali Law Group, the number to call is 510-742-5887. You can log on to piralilaw.com to get more information and the ways to connect with them. The number once again is 510-742-5887. With that, let me welcome him on air and let's start today's show. Hello, Shah. How are you doing today? I am good.
I'm good. So can you hear me properly?
Yes, I can hear you absolutely fine.
Perfect. Very great. So I wanted to thank you for the nice welcome, and I apologize for last week. It was after Eid, so I kind of missed the show, and I really apologize to all the listeners. But Eid Mubarak belated, and to all the listeners, again, I'm really sad I couldn't join you last week. So this time we're going to try to catch up and talk a little bit about immigration. And before I start anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Thank you so much for the nice welcome, Vedika. Anything you want to discuss specifically today, or should I just proceed?
I'll get, if I'll have any question, I'll definitely add them on the way.
Perfect. So let us talk a little bit about of course, few things that is happening. For one, we are seeing the government stating on an alert on their USCIS website that now cases where you have people who apply for EADs, as you know, the work permit, the EAD, Employment Authorization Document, that's what the EAD stands for. And they have been delayed a lot. So what the government is proposing that now they are going to have on the pending receipts of EADs in certain situations, up to 540 days you can work on the receipt, which is great because it used to be 180 days. Now it's 540 days. People will be able to continue working on it. And what the USCIS is saying, they are apologizing because they went through a lot of financial difficulties, etc. So let's see what happens next, how this is going to unfold in real life. And this is some kind of good news for people who have been waiting on their EADs. Now, the next issue, of course, is for people who have an H-4 and waiting on their EAD, that's fine. But for people who are still waiting on their own H-4, and then it becomes a little bit different because they have to have the I-94 approved before they can use that receipt on the EAD. So that's another problem that we're going to see, and if you have any issues with those, just give us a call at the office, 510-742-5887. And if you have any caller, just let me know, by the way, Vedika, so sure. At least I can go ahead and proceed on that. But any questions on this? Because I know a lot of people, I get like 3-4 consultations a week on those EADs. Mm-hmm. Anything on your side? You have any questions on your side? No.
So with the EADs, like I've heard, people who had EAD in past also, so like now their spouse has approved H1 and they are still waiting, like since more than a year on EAD. And as you're saying that the date has increased, the time of wait has increased. So will there be any certainty in the coming future for that?
Well, this is a problem that we are seeing, right? We don't know because the fact that they are mentioning that increase in time that they will allow people to continue working on the receipt means they are delayed and the delay will get longer. But there are talks, like they proposed also a few weeks ago that they will start getting premium on those EADs. So now the question is, if they could clear them, how are they going to deal with the premium? And premium is expensive. So the other issue they mentioned in that memo or that announcement is that USCIS is short of money, kind of. So by allowing the premium, they are expecting probably some income, but we are just waiting to see what happens next. How much is going to be the premium? Is it the $2,500 that we are paying on other cases? So if that comes true, then we are going to have a potential of people getting their EADs faster. And that will be very, very helpful, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will pay for it. And that means basically some income for the USCIS, which, by the way, the same thing happened in 2020 when they released those EB3. It was very much both a political and a financial reason that they did that. So let's hope that due to those financial issues, they might end up by releasing the premium and EADs, which means people are going to get their EADs faster. Now, the question that we have to ask is, since the H4 gets more delayed than the EAD itself, then we are also going to have an issue for people who have both their H4 and their H4 EADs concurrently. So one of the options we have presented to people was to go outside and come back on their H4, get their I-94, and then apply for their EAD, which means they can work on the receipt if they are basically extending their EAD, not for the new EADs, right? So now what the problem is to even deal with that H4. So we are hoping that they will deal also with that issue, and then hopefully we will see some good stuff coming. There are a lot of good stuff coming, by the way, compared to like last year or things like that. We are talking about a lot more potential, a lot of more good stuff on the way. But having said that, we are also worried that it will also clog the system more, because every time they try to do something to expedite and they don't hire more people, we are seeing that the USCIS themselves are kind of are getting overwhelmed. And once they get overwhelmed, that means we also have what we call an increase in mistakes, right? So that's another. Excuse me for a minute. So I'm sorry, I was just checking something to make sure that I got it right on those 540 days, but yes, it is. So what happens is that while they increase the volume, it will also increase a backlog for other things. And we saw the same thing happening at the U.S. Embassy in India especially, where, while we don't know exactly, because I have another opinion on the issue, but we are seeing a huge delay there because they increased the drop box, which allows people to pretty much kind of move forward quickly on their cases. But what happened is that by doing so, they also went ahead and saw an increase in applications because everybody wanted to take advantage of the drop box. And then guess what? The whole system got clogged again. And now to get an appointment in India, we are talking about 3-4 months and even more for some cases. So be ready for that. If you're planning to go outside for stamping, you're going to see yourself stuck there for a few months. So the best thing is to apply here, wait like 2 weeks before the interview, then you go, and then you get your stamping and come back. And this is happening for most cases. As for visitor visa, we are not even seeing anything being issued probably lately in some U.S. embassies. So you'll have to wait also, from what we heard, around September to get some issues, some possibilities there. So a lot of things happening, and also I think there's a political reason this is happening. And as you know, we are we are in a war with Russia and the Ukraine, and the position of India has kind of irritated the State Department. And my feeling is that this is not going to be great for many people who are applying. So, and that's my guess. I might be wrong on this, but I think this is also, immigration doesn't work in a vacuum, right? So we have financial, political, everything going at the same time.
Absolutely.
And we are also seeing a lot of denials. which, by the way, these denials don't really happen before. They are digging into people's cases. They are really kind of. The truth is that we are talking about people are going through a hard time. A lot. I have people who are getting stuck in India. A lot of them, by the way, and ultimately they are not able to do anything because their case are just stuck, and it's very hard to actually kind of get them unclogged from there unless you have a senator or someone involved, and even that is not working.
Right.
So we are going to see some really tough times coming in the next few months and even few years, unless we see a change in the approach of both the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of State. So watch out for this, because this is something that will affect your case.
Absolutely. But there is hope, and the way you started it was pretty hopeful. So listeners, if you have any question and if you would like to discuss anything on air, let me remind you once again, we are taking calls 510-770-1550. If you have any employment-based immigration question or anything you would like to ask Shah, he is available, 510-770-1550. That's the studio line number. And if you would directly like to contact the Shah Parali Law Group, the number would be 510-742-5887. Once again, it's 510-742-5887. Or you can log on to the website where you'll get all the information. The website is by the name PiralliLaw.com, PEERALLY law.com. So again, the number studio lines are open, 510-770-1550. This is the best time, when you can talk. There are a lot of confusions. What if I do this? What if I change my status? What if I apply for EV2? And the things which we talk among friends, you can definitely call us on studio and get an opinion from an expert. So before we start, whatever you have in mind to discuss later. So my question is, as you were saying that the State Department and the finances and the politics and everything is involved. So whatever they are trying to do, as they are trying to create a balance or work efficiently, so then why don't they hire people? Because everything is going hand in hand, so it's a great opportunity to create more employment. So they should be doing that to balance the equation, right?
Well, unfortunately, it's like they are picking some. Most of our clients, by the way, are getting approved. So they are not denying cases, but cases that are presented weak or are missing stuff or suffering is just like the way it's been. But things that could slide is not sliding. That's the thing. So, for example, I'll give you an example of a situation in general. For example, they ask for 3 years tax returns when you file for an adjustment of status. In some cases, especially for family petitions. And it used to be even you give 1 year, you miss it, they will just send you a request for evidence, ask you for more, and then if you send it, you're fine. But if you forget to send it also in the request of evidence, if they're asking a bunch of stuff, they might still let it slide. But I've seen cases right now where one is missing and they're just denying the case blatantly, which is not something very, very common. And then also you're seeing a lot of cases where there's might be mistakes also, but where they're saying that they send a request for evidence, but the truth is that they never send it or it got lost. And they are denying the case. So we are going to see, we see it already, that there is now a friction between the two countries, and unfortunately the one who are paying the price are the innocent people who have nothing to do with the politics.
Right.
And so that's where it gets really...
Sorry
go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a caller, so sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
Yeah, so can we take them?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hello, you're on air with Shah Parali. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Hi, Shah Parali. Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, I have one question regarding this H4 and H4EAD. So this is regarding for one of my friends. So his H1B petition got approved a week ago, and his H4 is his dependent H4 I-539 and H4EAD is not yet processed. So now he got another offer from company B. So if he's moving to the new company, what would be the impact of these H4 and H4 EADs? Would there be any impact either for both these two, H4 extension and H4 EAD? I just want to know about this, Shaka.
That's a very good question. In fact, what happens is that whenever you move your H1, it is recommended to also file an H4. You don't have to refile the EAD. You can just use the same receipt of the EAD, but make sure another H4 is filed. The reason for that is that so it is unfortunately a situation where we have to actually kind of work with you will have to work with your attorney and make sure when they're filing for the H1 transfer, they also file for the H4. What happened is that if they cancel the H1 with company A, the H4 that has been filed will also be canceled. However, you can still use the same EAD application, just attach it to that new H4. So make sure whenever you move, they file another H4 for them. Now, you also have to make sure that the previous H4 is valid when you're doing that, because it might create some issues because you're moving from a pending H4 to another pending H4. So it is possible it won't be a problem, but you have to file another H4 when you move to another company. It's almost a must. Although some lawyers will tell you not to file, I've seen many cases where people get in trouble for not filing. So make sure your friend just file another H4, and then also make sure when they file the other H4, they put the receipt of the EAD that was filed with it. Okay?
Sure. So meaning that the takeaway from here is, so H4 anyhow, when he's going to the new company, along with his H1 transfer, he has to do for H4 as well. But EAD application is valid with respect of the H1 application.
I'm sorry?
So EAD, you no need to file it again because he already initiated with the previous company, so there is no impact even though you're switching from one company to another company.
No, the EAD will follow the H4. Just make sure another H4 is filed. And put a copy of the receipt of the EAD so that it gets moved on to that new H4. Okay?
Oh, okay. So while filing the H4, actually we need to copy the existing EAD application as a copy so that it won't be any problem.
Yeah, like that, they will take that EAD, they will move it to that new H4 application.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for your question.
Caller?
No, not yet. So listeners, if you are listening to us, you can also call and ask for guidance and help from Shaw Parali Law Group. The number to connect with them is 510-742-5887. That's the number to their office, and they are located in Newark. So you can either take an appointment and definitely connect with them over the phone also. The website to get all the information is piralilaw.com. That's the best source, I would say, because easy to remember, piralilaw.com, and you can get the contact number, the location, everything, and how to get in touch with them. So we had a caller, but the call got dropped. We have 5 more minutes if you would like to call again. The studio line is 510-770-1550. If you have any employment-based immigration question, you can call in the studio. We just have 4 more minutes rather. So yeah, sure. Let's get back to what we were talking. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yes, thank you so much. I don't know we will have time to take more callers, but I wanted to give some another announcements. For those who are seeing a lot of situation, we are also seeing, by the way, a few audits coming on the perm, which was we rarely get audits in our office, but we started getting a few.
Mm-hmm.
So be ready for that. And also I-140s at our file. If you're moving to a same or similar position and you're changing location, make sure you run it by an attorney as a second opinion, because a lot of attorneys, although the rule doesn't really specifically mention that, but it will be a material change and it can create problems on the same or similar position. So make sure, for those who understand what I'm talking about, they will understand why I'm talking about that, especially on the AC-21 Supplement J movement. they need to run it and make sure that with the attorney, or run it with a second opinion with another attorney. And you can call me 510-742-5887. Another thing that happened, the UNNJ situation, which we have been fighting for years, now came to term with a settlement, and I think I will publish the settlement offer. Not offer now, I think it's the final settlement, where basically if you had a situation with UNNJ, you might be able to get, they will not be able to use that against you, and thanks to this group who filed the lawsuit, and we're very happy about that. Let's see how this unfolds. I heard also they might be giving you visas, so I will check on that, and then I will give you more details next week, hopefully, or publish it on our website. Another thing, make sure you check our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SharpRally, because this is important that we get things moving. Sometimes I forget things, or I miss things, or even the shows that you're hearing right now, I put them there, youtube.com/SharpRallyLaw. And also tell everybody to join our show. Feel free to ask questions next week. And I think we have one more minute to go, right?
Right.
Right? Okay, so let me kind of wrap up. The visa bulletin's coming out soon. Watch out for EB2. Hopefully EB2 will keep moving forward. And EB3, unfortunately, my feeling is that it will go backwards, so we need to be ready for that. So if you get a chance to move to EB2, back to EB2, or move to EB2, do it, because this is something that will help you, because definitely we're not going to see a high movement from EB3, but EB2 will keep moving forward. So now anything I told you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. And just to let you know, we mentioned earlier the situation that is happening in India, where cases are getting stuck. So if you don't have to travel, don't travel unless it's necessary. As usual, as a matter of caution, a lot of people will travel, but before you do that, try to run your case by your attorney, or you can call our office, 510-742-5887. Thank you so much, Verika. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we will be able to have some other news on the UNNJ situation. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll be back next week.
Thank you so much, listeners. आप सुन रहे थे शापिराली को, who is the founder, president and managing attorney of शापिराली Law Group, and he comes on air every Tuesday 9:30 a.m. So जरूर आप tune in कीजिए, and this is a call-in show, so you can also call and ask your questions. If you have anything in detail, the office number would be best to connect with, 510-742-5887, and the website is piralilaw.com. With that, this is RJ Vedika signing off. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.